Right guys, new bike, new week, new bike. That Norvin's gone. Norvin were down here this morning and I put it in the back of an Audi A7 this morning, which is a wild vehicle to be using to transport bikes about. Basically coupe in it, and you'd think, oh yeah, an Audi estate would be alright, but an Audi A7 is probably the nicest car I've had down here to put bikes into the back of it, like flipping shuffle it in. But yeah, this is the next one on. Fair few of you will have noticed this sat in back of the videos. It's been around for a bit. Since when? There were a guy, I did that B50 video and he were having a good look round it because he were into his Greeves. Basically this is a Greeves frame and a Triumph engine, so it's what they call, you call it a Tri-Greeves or a Grumph. I'm guessing a Tri-Greeves might be a Greeves in a Triumph and a Grumph is a Triumph in a Greeves, but you get the gist, they just mash both names together. So this is for a customer that restores bikes not that far away, he's in Huddersfield. He brought me this over basically to get it out of his way. He'd done as much as he put the tank on, put an oil tank on. He's built it to this stage, I think, or the customer's built it to this stage. He's added some bits and then now it needs an exhaust pipe. He needed some room in his workshop, which were about last September or something. It's been sat around. You'll see it in the back of a load of photographs because it's been here since September. So I've got rid of that Norvin now. That Norvin were a bit of a rush job. He just brought it down and said, can you do it in 2 weeks? So got rid of that. Now I need to create some more room because I have got, what have I got? I've got an Enfield job to do. That's coming on Friday. I should have a 4x1 coming. When's that coming? That's like a GSXR or something like that, a GS15. That was supposed to be here last Thursday, I think, so that's due, that's on its way. This one, I need to get rid of it so I can make some space. I've got this and the Beamer to do behind it, and then I've still got that CB900 over there which wants some pegs on it, some pegs and an oil cooler fit into it, so that's another bike that's taking up space. I've got a table of my Uncle Andy's that needs to go back to his house. Another bike of Andy's over there, and then I've got my bike, so I've got a bit of space. If it comes to the crunch and I've not got enough space, what I'll do is I'll just get rid of my XS 650, put that upstairs, get rid of the Honda 350, put that upstairs. I can create free spaces if it gets a bit mad in here, but really, ideally I want to just keep the bikes flowing. So this is my next job. The next job comes with this. I don't know if you can see that. Comes with a bloody pamphlet. I was reading through this yesterday, and I just thought, oh my god, it's like a list of demands. We'll have a bit of a look at this, and we'll have a look at the bike. Yeah, my god, I just thought, whoa, this guy's asking some questions. Basically, that is a book of how to make a perfect set of exhaust pipes. So I'd had a look through it, and he's put things like he don't want them to be sat out of line. If you were like he wants them to be sat bang on top of each other, not like this. He wants the curves, both curves. He wants like, I don't know if you can see that. Wants them like that. I know that's not in focus, but yeah, crossed over. That sweep over case in here. He wants both of them to be perfect. It's just a million things in there, like. It's a million things, but then when I went home after I read this last night, I thought to myself, well, he's only asking what I normally do. So I think that's why my customer has brought this to me. I've done a fair few jobs for my customer, and they've always been nice bikes, exotic. So I did a matchless Silver Hawk for him, which are rare. Then I did a grey flash, a racing grey flash, rare again. And then I did him what you'd call a first Triton, which is a Norton Inter with an all-alley Triumph 500 engine in it, I think, something like that. But that's a rare bike as well. So they're all been rare, they've been high value, nice bikes. So then Tim brought me this, I think on the basis of that, I think Tim has read through this and gone, perfect job for Ben. Cheers, pal. So yeah, I'm reading through it. The first problem is, it says here, main tubes, 1.25 inch stainless. So you read that bit, and if that were the case, 1.25 inch stainless, then majority of that you won't be able to do. So there's millions of stainless pipes out there, and they don't look nice. They don't look nice. That's why I don't do stainless, because it's hard to make it look nice. I can make it look nice, but it's like twice of the job. So say this, by the time I finish this might cost £1,000. And then if you're doing it in stainless, it's twice as hard. So no one's going to pay me £2,000, I don't think. But then you can make it in titanium and it could be £3,000. So yeah, it's just that making them look nice. Titanium pipes are really hard to make look nice. Stainless pipes hard. Mild steel though, that's how they should be. So that's how they should be. They'll look nice. All chromed up, that'll look nice. So yeah, have a look at that. List of demands. Let's have a bit of a look at the bike. I don't know what I'm going to show you, but I've been doing a bit of working out on it. So I've got my flexi hose back out again, and I've done a bit of wire templates. My main issue with this 1.25 inch, I've got an 1 3/8 bender, mandrel bender, which I could probably put that big loop in, but they're 1.25 inch, so it's the wrong size former. Grandad's made a sleeve for it to downsize the former, but I had a bit of an issue with it last time I was using it and it weren't working right, so I'm going to sack it off and I'm just going to bend it straight from straight, sand bend it, woof, like that. So I've been messing about. I've cut these dead short for a different job. This were one length before and I've cut it in half so that they're both exactly the same, which is annoying now because I could do with 2 of these full length. So we're going to have that bend like that, and then it's going to sweep over casings like that. And then we're going to finish it like this basically, so you get a bit of focus in on that. That's basically where we want it wrapped round the front. He's given me a list of like what else is in here. There's some other demands in here. It's not a bad guide. So he's given me a picture of them there on underpipes, CL350s. He said like that, so that's just to show you that it wraps around the front. He don't want it to drop as low as that. He wants it to sweep through there, and then these are out of line with each other. I'm guessing he probably wants that kicks out to the side like that. I'm guessing he probably wants that straight. Let's have some more demands. That's a picture of roughly what he wants again, but he don't like the clamps on the exhaust. I don't like clamps. This engine is sat further back on frame. If you look there, that's where frame is, and they swept them around the front, whereas I've got that gap to play with. I'm not doing that. What we're doing, we're wrapping them round the front, so it'll come across this front side here. That back pipe there will come round here, sweep across there, across there. That one will be a big looper, round, down, underneath the other pipe, get to here, and then I've got this to work to. This is my next part. Hold on. I shouldn't have that all because it's got the guy's phone number on it. Let's put my thumb over his phone. You've got his phone number. If you all want to prank call Tim, which I don't think any of you will want to do, there you go. That's some of his phone number. But yeah, that's what we've got. I've got to make one of them in obviously round because that's just flat cardboard. What else have we got? That's nothing like. So the customer's gone to the lengths of drawing up the silencer, but can't work hard enough to put the angle on. So that's just a guide again. What else have we got? Is it another bit? It's like water reading. I hate reading me. And then that's just an example of a bracket, because he's put a lot of questions in, like how would we fix it to the head, fastening the exhaust in the pushing head, option 1 springs, option 2 holding the tubes firmly together, preferred. I'm going to have to do some studying of that. So yeah, my first plan is I've packed some tube. I've packed some tube. I'm going to have a go at that back bend because that back bend's tight. So I've made these. Hold on. I've got me little wire patterns again, which I've worked out off my little flexi hose ones. And that I roughly want to go like that. So you come out the other side, round, down, follow it casing like that. Get me to roughly where the silencer is. And my problem is that bend on that side's fair tight. So I need to have a practice go with that, I think. Before I've got one length of tube for this without ordering some more. So that's an offcut, this bit here in vice. That's an offcut that I'm going to just do a test bend now, just to see if I can get it to go around that tight and how nice it'll be. And then I've got that length of tube there sat on my bender. that's what I intend to do both pipes out of. I'll chop that in half and I'll make both pipes out of that, but I only have one go at it, so I need to do anything that I'm a bit unsure about. I'm going to try it on this. My first one, see how tight I can bend it, see if I can get that to wrap right round on itself, see if I can get it as tight as my wire pattern. If I can, I think we'll just crack on with this job, just try and get it done because it's got a lot more work on it yet. That's how I'll have the pipes done, the silencer done, but I also need to do a bit of tank modification. So not the customer, but the restorer, the guy that's working on the bike, he's cut the tank out the bottom here, looking at my fingers up, basically so it'll fit on top of engine there, and he wants me to patch that in. So I'll have to take tank off, patch that up, and then he's done the same here with oil tank. This is a BSA oil tank, BSA badge on there, and it looks really nice. It fits that. Can't go any further out because the wall's in way, but yeah, it fits lovely there. But to get it to fit, he's done the same here. He's just scalloped the top out, so I need to put a piece of tin in there and weld that up. So it's not just a case of just making the exhaust pipes again on this job. It's a full do as much as I can on it. Tim's handy, the guy that's restoring it, but yeah, he just said just do what you can on that. Flipping weld up that, weld up that, weld up that, weld up that, make me exhaust pipes. So that's what I'm going to do. Spin myself around. I'm going to get blowtorch out. I'm going to get that wire pattern out. I'm going to have a quick go at doing a little test bend on this. Might film it. Let's film it. I'll film it. I'll set camera up. See what battery's like. Yeah, I'll set camera up. Just do a quick test bend on that, and then if that works, I'm going to refine my wire patterns, just triple check them, and then pack some pipes and have a go. I might even have a go today. I'll have enough time to have a go today. If that pattern goes all right, that test go, we'll have a go. Right, let's crack on. Right guys, we're on. Whoa, you might be able to see that there, that's my tube, vice, tube, torch, wire pattern. I'm going to have a go. I could do with some on the end of that, some a bit of a lever, which, right here. Yeah, that'll do it. Right, gonna get that cooking and then see if I can just put that tight bend in. It says we've got no oxygen. No oxygen. There we go, got oxygen. Right guys, I've done a test bend. I filmed some of it I think, then I got interrupted by the door, customer come round. I might have filmed a little bit more, I'll see how it edits together, but yeah, I've done a test bend and it didn't come out as good as I expected, but it's doable. So now I'm toying between the idea of, do I sand bend it and make it a little bit better, or and maybe there's a risk of scrapping it, or do I set up the tube bender, have a go at mandrel bending one, but then at the same time I've got the risk of wrecking a piece of tube, and then if I wreck a piece of tube I'll have to order some more tube, I'll have to wait another week. So it's a tough one, but yeah, it bent alright. I got it round to the angle I wanted. It was just a bit lumpy bumpy again, so it just bent in places. It's not a smooth curve, so I'd have to be a bit more gentle with it next time I do it. I'll spin it round, give you a quick look. So that's what I've just been bending. And it's there, like a lot of you are probably thinking, there's nothing wrong with that. To be honest with you, there's not much from this angle, don't look like there's much wrong with it, but when I get to here, they still don't look like there's much wrong with it. It looks like there could be a dent there, but I think that might just be a bit of... It could be a little bit of a dent. Basically what it's done is, you see there, it's not you there, try bending, it's all of it there for some reason, like the sand slackened off or something. So it's gone smooth and then kinked at that last little, maybe a bit too much heat. I were rushing that last little bit because I'd got to stop for a customer, and then I just thought, right, I'll whack torch back on. So like I say, yeah, it is doable. It's doable. That's the bend I need. So that's my wire palm. Looking like that, so yeah, definitely doable. That'll definitely clear the frame. It's just whether I go with that, run a risk of mucking up a full length of pipe, because I need that much of it yet, or whether, so this is my mandrel bender. I had it on this formal bit bike and it just kept on wrecking. There's a pile of them down there. That bend there is not much bloody different. Like the radius on that, if I could get the mandrel bender to carry on bending round without putting that crease in it there, then I'd be on anyway, and then I could just sand bend the bigger curves in. So where that wire pattern is there, it wants a bigger bend round there that my mandrel won't form. You see that it tightens up and then slackens out, and then I want a big sweep. I can't do that on my former, so it's debatable. Yeah, debatable whether I just put the first bend in and then sand bend all the rest of it, or whether I just sand bend it all. That is the risk I'm going to have to take. I'm going to have to do a bit of risk assessment. See which. Let's flip you around. Yeah, see which one. I don't know. You just got to weigh up the risk factors, haven't you? You've got to weigh up the risk factor. Is it more risky doing it on tube bender and just pressing that button and it just scraps it straight away? There's probably 3 lengths. I could probably get 3 pipes out of that length of tube I've got, so I've got a little bit of leeway where I could probably have one go at bending it, and then if it don't bend right, scrap it. I think that might be my next plan, is to have one go at bending it. If it don't work, scrap it off, have a go at sand bending it. I think that's going to be the only option. Because yeah, if I mandrel bend it, I'll waste a bit off the end where the bend is. I'll chop that off and then just sand bend it, and just use that same piece and sand bend it. Right, that might be my option. I'm gonna have a mess about with tube bender, see if I can get a bend off it. If I can get a bend off it and it's the right radius, then just go with that. Just use that as that first bend, so it's a nice smooth bend. But it needs to be fair tight for it coming out. So yeah, and the mandrel will do that, and then just do all the oval shape. They're like the ellipse arcs. They're arcs, aren't they? They're not bends, they're arcs. I'll do all arcs with sand and blowtorch. So yeah, fingers crossed. Let's pray to the bending gods. I'll be back with you shortly. Right guys, back in workshop. Right guys, back in workshop. I've missed a few stages out. I carried on doing bending pipes last night, so I jumped the gun a bit. And I'm a little bit further on than I thought I was, so I'll show you, I've sandbent. I've put the first bends in both pipes, so I had a look at sandbending it, I had a look at bending it on mandrel. I did a test bend on mandrel, and it were a little bit too much faffing around. I was running out of tube, so I thought, right, let's sack this off, let's sandbend it. So I've got 2 pipes sandbent up, and my plan for today is to work out the bend over casings. So I've just put the bends in to get them out the head, and now they're both on this side of the bike. So if I spin camera around, I'll give you a look. What I've got is I've got that pipe there. That's the right hand pipe that's going to come across the front, and I've copied that off this wire template here. So that wire template fits the bike nicely, and that's what I've got so far. So I'm using that as the inside at bend, because this one's really tight to frame, to casings, everything else. So that's going to go on there. If I can find the other barrel is awkward on this because the other barrel's right on the other side, so it's a bit hard. You see that wire going at barrel there, in port there. Get it to line up with port, it'll line up on front like that, and then you get in that swoop, which is hard to tell. But yeah, that's the bit I need to suss out now, is suss out that swoop across the casings. It'll obviously have another pipe underneath it as well, which is... So this is going to be a tricky bit now, is to try and get these 2 pipes to merge together. That's that one pipe. That's my other pipe here in vice. That one I've copied off this. So I've got that, and on this one I'm using the outside of the pipe, because the outside that I mention is critical, because I want to make sure that it actually fits between the port and the casing. So that's my wire pattern for that, and it's spot on, in it. That's absolutely spot on. I just need the same thing. I've put a bit of the big bend in, as you can see there, but it also needs a flick up. If I come down like that, that wire's running upwards now, and so I just need to put a bend in there between them 2 white lines, kick it up a bit. But same again, I need to just double check them, because I can bend that the same as that, but it might not line up with the other pipe, especially now I've bent them. They go a bit off course a bit. So that's my pipe for there. Hold on, let's get that in. That one will actually sit there. So that's why I've used the outside size, because you can see it goes from the top of the port round to the bottom of the casing. So I need to make sure I can get my pipe within them 2 bit lines. So that's why I've copied the outside on this side. The other side, I copied the inside, didn't I? So it was the inside of the bend. So make sure that it touches up to that, so it goes into the port on that side, but it still clears the barrel there. I can get both pipes to, like, both bits of wire on there, but when I try and flick that bit of wire through that gap, it's always tricky, and I end up knocking it. Let's just see if I can do it now. So they're gonna look something like that. So you see, I've nearly got the same sweep on them. Now pretty much I've got the same sweep on them. There's nothing to say that I'm going to be able to copy it exactly, but like that bend at the front's nice, because it follows the bend on the right hand pipe that I've got in my hand, this one that's wobbling, follows the big bend on the coming out the head, and then the sweep's the same, and they both roughly end up being in the same place. Need to take into account that that's the inside and the other one's the outside. But yeah, I think I could probably just carry on so far. Just do some more checks. Keep double checking it, triple checking it. Let me pull that out and see if I can not knock the other one. Do you know, I'm really good at them electronic games where you have to pass the finger along, and that's why, I think, because I do stuff like that all day. I'll flip you around. So yeah, my plan is now I'm going to check that wire pattern again against the pipes, check it a fair few times, put the sweeps in, so put them large bends across the casings in, and then I should be able to get it somewhere near the bike. The left hand pipe, that pipe that's on the bike, I should be able to try that one on without trimming it. It'll stick out a bit far forward here, but that other one, that pipe's a tricky one. If you look at the pattern, this is always the case, they're always that much too long, so I can't try that on without chopping that bit off, which then, yeah, it leaves me in a tricky place, because then I can't alter it because I'm missing all sand out of it. So that one needs to be fair bob on. I can tweak it a little tiny bit. You can add a little bit of heating without no sanding. You can just bend it like a degree. If it's a degree over a long distance as well. You just warm it up and just tweak it a little tiny bit. Can't do nothing extreme, otherwise the tube will collapse. So I can move it backwards and forwards, up and down a little tiny bit, but I need to try and get it bob on. So that's going to be my plan. I'm going to do that for the next hour or so, is just put the big bends in, and then what I normally do is check them up floor, get them up floor, and just see if the bends will follow each other, and get a rough idea off that. And then I might empty the sand out. By the end of today, I might have them pipes on that bike, so I'll just crack on again because I'm a busy boy, so I'll just crack on. I've got a silencer and stuff like that. That'll be the main part of this video, is I'll show you making the silencer, I think, because we've covered making pipes and stuff. So I'll show you making the silencer, maybe doing the tank repairs. But yeah, for bending the pipes, we've seen bending pipes before, so I'll just crack on with that, and I'll show you what finished article is by the end of the day. Right guys, we're looking good. I've done what I said I was going to do, which was to bend them a little bit more. We're just having a look at them then. Yeah, put that sweep in, put a little bit of a kick in. Hands were like that, sweep, kick. They were down here though, so you can't see them. Yeah, so yeah, put a bit of a sweep in, put a bit of a waggle in it, and they're looking good, they're looking proper sweet, to be honest with you, but they're not quite there yet, I've propped them, so this is like my first plan is to, when I've done these normally, is I check them up floor first, because when you can't get them on the bike, you physically can't get them on the bike, so to have a good idea of what they look like when they're meshed together is to put them on floor, see how they sit on top of each other. If I'd had a bike that didn't have a tank on it and I could take the head off, if it were a little less assembled, sometimes you just get like casings in a frame, sometimes take the head off, and then that allows me to drop the pipes onto the top of the barrel, and you can see roughly where they're going to sit then. But this way, there's no way I can get these anywhere near the bike, not a chance in a million years. So I've propped them up on some bricks, and they're looking sweet. I might even move them into the middle, take a photograph for me Instagram. It's rare you do photographs on Instagram these days, isn't it? So they might make a nice photograph, and then I'll tweak them before I go home, I think. But I've got a long list of fucking phone calls to go through that I've not been avoiding, but I've missed a lot of them, and I just keep thinking I'll do them all in one day, and then just never find time to do it. So yeah, I've got about 10 missed calls to go through for cans, and I'll tell you what I've got. It's Triton, Rickman Matisse, Guy, and is he in Isle of Man maybe? Oh no, he's got a weird name that's like Tenant Isle or something like that. Indian pipe. I want to do. Indians are nice, aren't they? So I won't mind doing a bit of an Indian pipe. Just a copy and a pipe though. End cans and mega for a local guy. Jeff with an Orvin, that's him, he's gone. GS 550, don't know who that one is, it might not be my bag that. Ivory Calthorpe, that's my bag. And then Simon Graham, he's come over from California, he's probably coming down tomorrow, and I'm getting a Royal Enfield dropped off tomorrow. So busy. So yeah, that's going to be my plan. I've got my little list here of missed numbers, so I'm going to go through that, get them done while I have a brew and a quick smoke, and then we'll get back onto them. But I probably won't update you again now till tomorrow, so I'll just show you these pipes. I'm not showing you them yet. Oh, here we go. So that's the bike. Looking good. Pipes are going to go on there, sweet, like we just did in last video. And this is what they look like now. So this is me just propping them up to make them look like what they would look like on the bike. So I try and get them two angles similar. They're probably slightly off. I also try and normally get these two in line, but this does seem like it's got a bit too much extra length on it. That one's not got as much length on it. Problem is we're doing these crossover pipes, so if I hold that there, my biggest problem is you get these two lined up like that, and when this pipe goes into the head, obviously I'll trim it down. The more I trim it down, the more this comes that way. So then that moves this way. So you actually need that to be bang on. That's why a lot of these high level pipes, when the guy's putting his comments in his little dossier there, he wants the pipes to sit bang on above each other, whereas if you don't get that bit right, you keep trimming that down, so that pipe will move across that one. Or if I pull it out, then it'll do the opposite. Yeah, it'll move up that way, it'll be too close to the barrel. So actually I need to trim that enough that it's sat in the right place, that's the tricky part. But let me get that strap off my neck. What they look like there, they look alright, they're swept at the right, they're swept right. So basically I'm saying that curve there is almost, they almost match. There's something a little bit wrong here. That's where that bend whips, and it's actually crossing over this pipe in the bottom. Then that bend is a bit too much bent that way. That one's got a straight in it, and then it bends. So I'm probably going to get this bottom pipe, that's going to be my tweak for tonight, is I'm going to get that one, bend it a bit here, so it goes, so that back end's over there, and then put a bit more of a bigger curve like that to bring the back end back round in line with it, and then that should match up. So that's what they look like side on. They're looking good. That's perfect. That's the profile I wanted from side on, so that's good. But yeah, like I say, from the top, you might not be able to, you probably won't be able to see this. Hold on, I'm just putting that strap over my neck so it don't get in the way. But you see, that's a curve from there all the way, and this one's, it's like straight from there and then curved at the end, and that bit there, it just bumps out over where that bend comes across. The other pipe, you can see the other pipe down there right in the bottom. That's that straight section there's the other pipe below it. So that bit there has just gone like that, just across the pipe, and then as it comes up here, you can see the bottom pipe again there, because that one's curved and the one below it's straight. And then they actually line up all right on the back. So like I say, you go to all that length there, you got them all looking good, and then if you don't trim them right, they could move all over it. So let's say when I start trimming that down to go into head, it might throw it all off. So I just need to make sure that they're going to be right when they're there. So I just trim that off here, and then so trim the right pipe off as it is, maybe re-put the collar back on, and then that one trim that much off it, leave that one as it is. That could be what I do, but I don't know. That's going to be a bit more experimenting with a wire pattern. I think just keep making wire patterns, keep double checking, triple checking, quadruple checking. That's where all the time goes in these jobs. That's where all the money goes. It's just in time, just checking. Right, let me just do a little sign out. That's me. I'm going to do some phone calls and I'm out of here. Right, have a good one.